Well, hello, Scrappers. Mike here. Welcome back to my channel. And I've got a channel announcement. I want to make an announcement about the channel, and also I'm going to answer a few of your questions that I get. And then we're going to get serious for a couple minutes and talk about a fairly serious subject. So let's get started here. Channel announcement. I didn't really want to do it, and in a previous Q&A video I talked about how I didn't really want to create another channel for some of the non-gold and silver recovery content that I put up here that really doesn't get a lot of viewership here, because I guess most of you are coming here for the gold and silver recovery content. Well, I went ahead and did it anyway. I've created a third channel, and it's called Mike's Lapidary and Fossils. Okay, so that's where in the future all of the rock cutting, the rock hounding, the rock tumbling, the fossil hunting, fossil prep videos, all that kind of stuff's going to go on that channel. So just to sort of unclutter this channel, I mean, I've already moved the electronics and retro computer stuff over to my second channel, Electro Geek 64. So that's over there. And now we're going to move the lapidary, rock hounding, fossil hunting stuff over to Mike's Lapidary and Fossils. Okay. So this channel will be a little more uncluttered for those of you who come here just for the gold and silver recovery videos, the e-waste processing stuff. You know, I can understand that stuff's really popular, and the other stuff, it's just not what you're looking for. So, you know, that wasn't those videos weren't really getting an audience here. They weren't getting any traction. So I'm going to put them off in their own area where maybe they can get a little traction. Okay. Now I will still be posting videos like that to this channel for a while. I'm going to put a blurb in each one advertising the new channel. And once the new channel starts to get some viewership, now they're going to be in both places. And I'm re-uploading a lot of the older videos that are already on this channel that's related to that stuff to the new channel. So that's all in the process. This new channel's fairly new. By the time this video comes out, I'll probably have a fair number of videos uploaded on it, and it'll be ready to go. As I'm recording this, there's only a handful of videos on it, and I'm still tweaking the layout of the page and everything. So, but that's what's going on. That's the new channel. So I'm up to 3 channels now. This one, Omega Geek 64, my electronics and retro computing channel, Electro Geek 64, and then the third channel now is Mike's Lapidary and Fossils. Check it out. I'll put a link in the upper right. You can check out the channel. Subscribe if you're into that kind of stuff. I'd appreciate it. And watch for new content coming there, because the lapidary and the fossil hunting is becoming a big part of my life. It's my new main hobby. So, you know, there's going to be a lot of that. Of course, I can't give up the gold and silver stuff. I can't give up the electronic stuff. I got too many hobbies. Maybe I need to focus a little bit. But anyway, yeah, so there's going to be a lot of new content coming up there. Because, you know, we basically spend all spring and summer traveling and doing rock hounding and fossil hunting and stuff, and I don't even have all the videos uploaded yet. So, anyway, that's what's going on with the channel announcement. Check it out. Now there still will be other stuff uploaded to this channel, because it's my most popular channel that's not related to gold and silver recovery and e-waste processing and whatnot. I'm not going to have a dozen channels, at least not right away. So stuff not related to, you know, the stuff most of you come for is still going to show up here. But the channel will be a little bit more pure, a little less, you know, overrun with stuff you aren't interested in, I'm thinking. So anyway, that's the channel announcement. Now let's move on to answering a few viewer questions. This last video I put out, well, it won't be the last video by the time this video comes out. I think I've got another one that's scheduled for release later this morning, and there might be others before this video is edited and that comes out. But in a recent video, I should say, I did a small-scale test on some RAM chips to determine the best way to process them. And that particular video generated some interesting viewer questions. One comes from Rob337, and he asks, can stannous chloride be used to precipitate gold? And well, technically, yes. I mean, that's what happens when you put stannous chloride on, a drop of pregnant gold-bearing solution. The stannous chloride makes the gold come out of solution, makes it precipitate, but it makes it precipitate as a very, 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 very fine colloidal powder. Okay, and that's why it's such a sensitive test, because that very, very fine powder is very dark in color, and that's a very sensitive test. Even a small amount of gold will show up that way. But that fine, fine colloidal powder is very difficult to deal with. If you were to take like a liter of pregnant aqua regia solution with a fair amount of gold in it and dump a bunch of stannous chloride solution in it, yes, the gold would precipitate, but it would precipitate as that fine, fine colloidal powder. And it would like to stay in the water column. Just the Brownian motion of the water will keep the stuff in the water column. It might not settle out for geological era. It might take that long for it to settle out. And when it does settle out, as soon as you agitate the liquid a little bit, it's back up in the water. It's very difficult to deal with that colloidal gold solution. I would not recommend at all using stannous chloride to precipitate gold. Just use it as a test for the presence of gold, and that's why you don't see anybody online doing it, because it would really produce something that would be a major pain in your butt to deal with, and you would not do it twice. Okay. All right, next question. This came from I am not to be named 365. In that small scale test video, I took a few of the RAM chips and I incinerated them in a crucible with a torch and exposed the inner metallic framework. And, the gold bond wires are in there too, and the chip die and whatnot. And I am not to be named 365 asks, could the base metals in those chips just be compelled away, leaving the gold behind? And well, I had to do a little research on that, because it actually sounded like a reasonable idea. But then, I did a little research and found that the mosquitoes are out. That's what I found. But I did a little research and found that iron and nickel oxides, the melting points on them are so high that I don't think compelling is going to work. Those oxides, I don't think you're going to get. I don't think you're going to get your Capel hot enough for those oxides to liquefy and soak in. I mean, the Capel might melt first. I don't know. Very possibly. But I don't think that's going to work. Maybe if you had some other fluxing agent in there with a much lower melting point, like lead oxide or bismuth oxide or something, that could dissolve the nickel and iron oxides, and then they could all be absorbed into the Capel. That might work, but I'm not certain. I don't see people doing it that way, so I suspect it doesn't work. Okay. What I did was I used acids to dissolve away the base metals and was basically just left with the gold then. So that's the way I did it, and I think that's probably the best way to go, rather than trying to Capel away those high melting point metal oxides. I just don't think it's going to work. And then let's see, here's another question I get, and I get this a lot, not just on this one particular video, but I get this in a lot of videos and emails, and people will say, hey Mike, I dissolved some gold in aqua regia, and then I put some SMB in to try and precipitate the gold, and I did not get it precipitate. What's wrong? Well, based on only that much information, it's hard to say exactly what's wrong. But I think there's two main candidates for what could be wrong in 99% of the cases, all right? Number one, maybe you just didn't denox that aqua regia well enough. You put some SMB in, the gold tried to precipitate, but since there was still active nitric acid in there, it probably went right back into solution. And I see that a lot with people. They just don't denox their solutions well enough, and well, they don't get any gold out. So that's probably the most common problem with you not getting your gold back out of your aqua regia solutions. You just didn't denox it well enough. And then the second possibility, which I think has happened a few times based on some extra information people have given me beyond, hey, I just didn't get my gold back, was probably there was not any gold there to begin with. Maybe you thought there was gold there, you treated it with aqua regia, you dissolved everything, put your SMB in, you got no gold out because maybe there really wasn't gold there. It may have been some base metals, you know, maybe some brass, maybe some bronze, something that looked like gold but wasn't. But yeah, so I think that's the two main possibilities. I mean, there's a whole broad spectrum of other problems that there could be, but I think the main two are you just didn't denox it well enough, or there was really no gold there to begin with. So if you're struggling with this problem, you know, take those two possibilities into consideration. Denox your fluid a little more and add some more SMB and see where you go. Okay, so let me get serious for a few minutes and talk about something else, something that may be affecting some of you out there or may affect you in the future. I haven't really talked a lot about my family issues on this channel, but recently my mother passed away. She had Alzheimer's, and the last year and a half, she was in full nursing care. She was in pretty bad shape there at the end, but her Alzheimer's is something that I have struggled with for the past 6-7 years, since I first noticed that there was something not quite right with Mom anymore. And, you know, she started going downhill, more and more issues, got her to a neurologist, got it diagnosed as Alzheimer's, and we just it's a never-ending downhill slide, and you don't come back from it. There is no coming back from it. You know how it's going to end once the diagnosis is in. But anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up, not to depress all of you, but this is something probably a lot of people in my audience, because my audience is fairly large, there's probably a fair number of people out there struggling with a loved one with Alzheimer's, or in the future, you will be. All right? A parent, a sibling, you know. So, the reason I'm bringing this up is a few years into Mom's illness, when I was really struggling with it, because it's really hard in the beginning. In the beginning, it's bad. Mom knew there was something wrong with her, and she was very frustrated. I knew there was something wrong with Mom, and I was very frustrated. And, you know, we were both having a hard time of it in the beginning. And about that time, I found a video online by a YouTuber named Big Clive. And I'm sure a lot of you in the audience have heard of Big Clive. He's a very popular YouTuber in the UK. He's got a huge channel. Very popular. He does a lot of videos on electronics. He tears down consumer electronics and points out their deficiencies, how they're built, how they should have been built. Maybe they should be banned, this kind of stuff. And he's just got an insanely popular channel. He's a great guy. And, well, he put out a video a few years back on dealing with his mother's Alzheimer's. After she'd passed away, he put together this video detailing what he and his brother had gone through dealing with his mother's Alzheimer's. Again, all the different stages, like from the initial problems that he started seeing with her to as the issues got worse and worse, to where she needed constant care and all until she finally passed away. And I watched this video, and it's like, this is exactly what I'm going through with Mom in these early stages. I understand. This is why it's happening. This is what he's doing to deal with it, to make her life better and his life less stressful. This is great. This is what he's doing. This is amazing. His video helped me out a lot. It helped me understand what was going on with Mom and how to make things better for her and less stressful for me, because I was really stressed out. At the time, it was just me dealing with it. I wasn't married yet. That happened later. My brother, you know, Big Clive was really lucky. He had a brother who could help. Between the two of them, they could pretty much give their mom 24/7 attention. Well, I didn't have anybody to help out. My brother was disabled, and he really couldn't help with Mom. And then he passed away a couple of years ago himself, so just kind of left me alone. Eventually, I got married to Leslie, and she helped out a lot with Mom. But, you know, still, our situations were quite a bit different, but his video helped me understand what was going on a lot. But, you know, he's over in the UK. They've got a different health system. He had a brother to help, and I didn't. So, you know, our paths through this whole Alzheimer's experience were quite a bit different. So I was thinking, if there's folks out there in my audience who are struggling with a loved one with Alzheimer's and having a lot of stress and a lot of issues, I'm wondering if it would be helpful for me to make a video talking about my experience dealing with my mother's Alzheimer's, all the different stages of it, and, you know, what you can do to deal with things at each stage. And, you know, just to make your life a little easier. I mean, it's rough in the beginning because you both know there's a problem and you're both frustrated. Later on, it's only you, the caregiver, that's going to have the issues, because eventually the person with Alzheimer's no longer realizes there's a problem. It's just the way it is for them, you know. And my mom was happy as a clam to the very end, always laughing and giggling. But there were a lot of issues for me. So if you're at all interested in seeing a video like that, leave me some feedback. I'm asking for your feedback on this. Let me know, yay or nay, in the comments on this video if you think this would be helpful for you, for someone you know. Maybe you know someone who's struggling with a parent with Alzheimer's and could benefit from a video like this. You know, let me know. Because like I say, things are going to be a little different between what Big Clive went through and what I went through, because, you know, we're on opposite sides of the ponds and things are different. I'll put a link to Big Clive's video, though, in the upper right corner. You can check that out if you like. It's a very well done video, and it helped me a lot. And I'll put a link to it in the video description, too. But if you would like me to make my own video detailing my experience with Mom's Alzheimer's over here in the States and how we dealt with it, all the different stages of the progression, let me know. And I'll put one together, and hopefully it'll help some people. Well, all right. I guess that's all I've got for today. Check out I've got 3 channels now, so check out my other 2 channels, Electro Geek 64, where all the electronics and retro computing stuff is, and the other new channel, Mike's Lapidarian Fossils, where all the rock hounding, rock cutting, rock tumbling, fossil hunting, fossil prep stuff's going to be. So check those out. Like and subscribe there too, if you would, please. And if you like this video at all, thought it was at all interesting, educational, informative, whatever, give it a like, give it a thumbs up. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching this one. Bye.